Hi, everyone. This is Michelle Bell with Younique, and I'm going to be just sharing some information about compensation regarding the UK. We've had some questions and a little bit of confusion about how you get paid, and so today we're just going to go through and explain and hopefully clear up any confusion about how you receive compensation and how you get paid. So let's go ahead and get started since we spent our time. Okay. So Younique pays the same way for all countries, all markets. It is always based on the retail amount. So every market is based this way, and every direct sales company does this pretty much the same way. So we are really just in standard with other companies, always pay on the retail amount. Now, retail taxes and shipping. So in the UK, and there's a few, probably other markets that we'll be launching in the future, the taxes and shipping are done a little bit differently than in the U.S., Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. So that's why there's a little bit of a difference in how we calculate the amount you get paid. In most markets, the taxes are separate, and they're added after retail and paid by the customer. No commissions are ever paid on taxes or shipping, and that's for all markets. But in the U.S., Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, taxes are separate. And so when I purchase something from the store, I see the price tag on it, and it says a retail price. I go to the register, and then they add on the tax depending on where I live. So the tax rates are a little different depending on your postal code. That's how the countries that we're in currently do their costs and retail. So a customer in the U.S., and I put this in terms of the 3D fiber lashes because that's an easy product to compare. In the U.S., a customer would pay the $29, that's the retail amount, plus taxes. Canada, $35 plus taxes. In Australia, it's $38 plus taxes. New Zealand, it's $40 plus taxes. And then, of course, if shipping's applicable, then they would add that on at the end. In the UK, the taxes are all-inclusive. So the customer only pays £23 plus shipping. So there's a difference there in how we need to pay out commissions because the taxes are done differently. So in the UK, that total amount is £23, but what we do is we divide it up. So the VAT, which is your taxes, is about 20%, so about £4.6 is the VAT or your taxes, and then the retail amount is actually about $18.40 on the total amount of the 3D fiber lashes. So Younique can only pay commission on the retail. They can't pay commission on the taxes because they don't do that in any other market. So we've got to make it fair across the board. Plus, the taxes go towards your local government, so it would not make sense to pay commission on taxes, okay? The royalty points is what we go off of for the UK to determine how much you are paid. So in the international PDF, and I'll pull that out after we get through these slides, it actually shows the point value for every single product that we offer. And you can print that out and have it next to your computer if that's helpful. You can keep it with you. But it also happens to be the same as the U.S. amount. So when you go on the website, all you have to do is change the flag to the U.S., and that will give you the royalty points. So it's very simple to figure out what the royalty points are, and that's what you're going to base your commission off of. So there's a little formula here, and I'll explain what each of these are. So to figure out what your commission is going to be for that particular product, you take the royalty points. Again, it's the same as, happens to be the same as the U.S. amount, but royalty points. You're going to multiply that by your commission. So as you start out, everyone starts out as a white presenter. So until you sell to $1,000 in U.S. products, but until you reach that first status, which is yellow, you make 20% commission, okay? Once you advance past the yellow status presenter, that will go up. So this may change to 25%. Once you're a green status presenter, this may change to 30%. So you'll just have to adjust it a little bit. And then multiplied by the peg rate. So the peg rate is something determined by the company, but it's based off currency, okay? So I put a little example here. Now, we actually give you more as I've calculated this. This peg rate was just adjusted, by the way. It was 0.6, and Derek and Maxfield announced that it would be 0.65 because it was a little bit low. So your commission off of one 3D fiber lash at the white rank, as you first start, is 3.77 pounds. Okay? Now, these numbers down here reflect the actual amount, not without the VAT. So remember I went back and I said, okay, so here's the 23 total, and if we take out the VAT, that leaves 1840 retail. But guess what? You actually get a better deal with Younique, because here's the retail amount times your commission, and that's 3.64 pounds. So we actually overestimate just a little bit. While we overestimate just a little bit, there may be some conversion rates as you transfer from Payquicker, so it should all even out to about the same. So the peg rate is simply the currency conversion. And right now it's 0.65, but it is subject to change, and it won't change on a daily or weekly basis or anything like that. It will only change if the currency really fluctuates quite a bit, dramatically. Currency, if you're not familiar with currency, and I'm not an economical expert by any means, but it can fluctuate daily and hourly even. So I've noticed with PayPal, when I change things from someone pays me in pounds and I need to change it to dollars, if I change it at 8 o'clock in the morning, I actually get a different amount than 6 o'clock at night. So we can't do the business that way and change it every hour, because that would be madness for everybody. So we've chosen an amount, but just realize if the currency fluctuates to enough degree that we need to change it, we will. We will adjust it so that it is a fair amount that you're being paid on. So how do you get that money? Okay, so Younique contracts with a company called Payquicker, and that is the only way you get paid. Okay, you will not get a check directly from Younique, and we do not do direct deposits. However, Payquicker is kind of like a direct deposit in a way. Payquicker is really like a bank account. It's very similar to the idea of PayPal, actually, in that you can do transfers to and from people, not quite as much as business commerce as PayPal, but similar idea. The first time you make a sale or purchase on your site, you will get an email, okay? And you only get paid on things that are commissionable, okay? What that means is if somebody uses Hostess Rewards, that does not count towards your commission. You don't get commission off of Hostess Rewards because it's already so deeply discounted. So when you get that email, don't delete it. It's kind of important. You'll actually get two. You'll get one from Payquicker that says you've been paid, and then you'll get one that says, to activate your account. If you delete it, we can get it fixed out, but look for that email the very first time you get paid. It makes it really, really simple. And it will give you instructions on how to set up your Payquicker account and what information that they need. Once you set up your Payquicker account, you have access to your money right away. Right away. So Younique pays within about 4 hours. So if you make a sale at 8 o'clock in the morning, by noon you will get an email from Payquicker letting you know that you have gotten paid. You'll know you've received an order through Younique because Younique sends out an email with every single order that you receive. So once someone places an order, you'll get an email instantly. Hey, so-and-so, congratulations, Younique order. Congratulations on the order off of your Younique site. Okay? So if someone says they ordered and you didn't get an email, they did not order off your site. So you may want to talk with them and find out maybe they ordered off another site. You can cancel orders, but it must be done within 3 hours. So if somebody accidentally places an order on the wrong website, they can cancel it within 3 hours and then replace the order. Younique does not move orders from one presenter to another, so keep that in mind. Make sure you give people your direct link. Don't tell them to Google you, give them the direct link to go to. But you have access to that money right away. Now, what can you do with that money? It's going to be sitting in your Payquicker account. It won't be in your bank account, so how will you access it? So you can do a few different things. You can transfer that money to a bank. It's very simple to set up your bank right alongside, and you literally just click transfer to a bank. It's very quick once you get it set up. You can request a check. There are fees. They're very small to transfer to a bank or request a check. But keeping that in mind, I don't transfer money every time I get a sale. I might do it once a week if I've gotten a lot of sales that week, or I might do it twice a month. It's totally up to you. You can also wait for your debit card. So all markets now receive a Younique purple debit card. It's very cute. And once you get your debit card, that is tied instantly to your Payquicker account. So you literally can have that money deposited in your account and use that card within a half hour and spend that money. So it's very, very instant. Again, there's some small fees for transferring. There are no fees for using it with your debit card, but make sure you use it as a credit card. You also don't want to use it at gas stations. Gas stations usually put a charge on your card, and if it's over the amount that you have on your card, you'll receive a fee for that. So just don't use it at gas stations, and then don't use it for money you don't have, because there is a decline fee. So if it declines because of you're trying to use it and you don't have enough money, insufficient funds, you'll receive a fee. So just be aware of that. They're very small, and you can avoid them totally if you just use it as a credit card. And the credit card, debit card is automatically issued. You do not need to email anyone or request it. Once your commissions reach the $50 US dollars in commissions, which is about 32 pounds. Okay? Once you reach that level, the card will be issued automatically. However, it does take a few weeks to receive. So be a little bit patient. If it's been over a month, that's too long. And you'll want to contact somebody. But for the UK, I'm not sure, where those are shipped from exactly. So plan, 3 to 4 weeks to receive that card once you qualify for it. Okay, so the royalties. In your back office, you have a royalties chart. It will always show in the same amount that every other country, every market sees it as. It happens to be the same as the U.S. amount, but it's points. So it's all a point system, okay? So your mascara, your 3D fiber lashes are 29 points, okay? So you need 1,000 points to qualify as a yellow status presenter. That's the same for every single market. And that is about 35 sets of the 3D lashes in every market. So you can take some time, and I can help with this too, in converting each of those ranks to the UK amount. But if we just think about it in points, it might simplify it, because that's what your royalties is based off of, is the points. So I would suggest you think of it in terms of that, in terms of points. But we are working on a chart that will show each of the ranks in different points. Actually, I have it already put together. I'll just post it to our group. So we have a fabulous presenter, Pip, who has put together this awesome Excel spreadsheet to help you guys. Basically, what it's going to show is the price for each product in British pounds, okay, and then the royalty points for each product. So if you want to print this out, we can, make it in a small size so you have it handy. But it will also show you the commission based on each product. So as you sell one set of 3D fiber lashes, you'll know you make this amount. And we've got it for each percentage. So a white status presenter, yellow, pink, and blue status presenters earn 25%. Green status and above earns 30% commission. So this is a very handy way to see exactly the amount that you're going to get paid without having to get out a calculator or figure it out on your own, okay? All right, that is basically the end. I wanted to make sure you all understood what peg rate means. One last thing to just really explain is that, actually let me show you guys the international PDF. I'll give it just a second as it comes up. So this file is something you should all download. I would even suggest you just have it printed off and make a little reference binder and have it handy for you, because I have a feeling you'll probably want to look at this often. So this goes over all international markets. It's going to talk about any details that you need to know. It's very easy read. It's very well organized. It's only 12 pages. Let's go through here. So a couple other things you want to know for the UK is we do have a not-for-resale policy. What that means is that products are for personal consumption only, and products may not be resold. This includes selling at trade shows. So if you do an event where you have a table at a trade show, you cannot have product there on hand and exchanging for, and selling right there at your table, okay? That means you need to take orders. Now, you could do a bulk order, okay, and take the orders and then purchase all in a bulk, so you save on shipping and then distribute afterward, but you can't sell it right there. If you do bulk orders, it has to be something where you collect the money ahead of time, then order it, and then distribute it. But you want to really encourage a lot of orders to go through your website. That way it's just directly to them. That makes it the easiest as well. Once we have $1 million US dollars in revenue, we'll be able to start the resale registration process. We've done that with Canada, and I believe December 1st, their not-for-resale policy will be lifted. So the UK is off to an amazing start. I can't wait to see when we hit this, because I have a feeling it will be it'll be sooner than any other market. So just focus on getting those sales, and we'll be able to list this in the UK eventually, so you won't have to have that as a concern at all. These are the amounts for not-for-resale market. So for the UK, it's £350 per importation. What that means is it's basically per day. So you can go on your website on your account and order up to £350 that day. You could also go on someone else's account, a mom, sister, if you needed to or wanted to, technically, and also order from that account, because it is per account per day. Now, one thing to know is that Younique freight forwarder ships multiple times per week, but not necessarily daily based on market volume. So that means if you place an order Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, any large orders within a 72-hour period may be combined together. So that order on Monday may wait until Wednesday to actually ship out. They may all ship together. So don't be surprised if you order right in a row, to have all of those come the same day and be delivered the same day. Okay? Royalties, we've already talked about the royalties and gone over that. So this has a chart that will show basically what we just went over, the retail price, what the royalty points are, what you get paid at each commission level. Okay? It also shows if somebody orders from another country, how much you'll get paid. And pretty much it's the same. It just converts over. And then it also has the peg rate. This has been updated to be 0.65 and not 0.6. So there's actually a brand new international market. I thought I downloaded the right one, but I must have downloaded the wrong one. So it's 0.6. And then it also talks about the shipping. Okay, so shipping under 65 pounds is 6.95 pounds. And then between 56 and 165 pounds is 10 pounds. But anything over 166 pounds is free. So that's why I would encourage you to advertise for those close to you. Don't advertise for those far away. But for those close to you, advertise a bulk order. Hey, save on shipping. Let's all go in together. Okay? That's really popular. And then we have a master price and points list for every single market. So again, this might be really helpful just to have printed out. It has every product that we offer in every single market, the party points, and the royalty points. So you'll notice here, let me see if I can zoom in. Perfect. So you notice here, for example, on the pigment powders. I've had a lot of questions about how the points work for parties. So the royalty points, actually let's do the concealer. The royalty points is 29, okay? Party points is just times 10. Super simple. You just add a 0 to the end of it, or 12.5 and a 125. So it's just multiplied by 10. Why we do it that way? I don't know. Maybe it just looks like it's more, but that's just how it is. So the party points are the same for every single market, okay? So to have a qualified party, in order to get those hostess rewards, you need to have 2,000 points, okay? So you're going off these party points here, and you need to add up to 2,000. That's basically about 7 sets of the 3D fiber lashes. We'll get you to 2,000 points, okay? This also has the list for the sets. And then collections actually are in the current catalog, and I have pictures of those along with all of the prices. But they will be added and this will be updated. So just be on the lookout for the updated version of the International Market PDF, and just make sure you have that. And then at the very end of that worksheet, the PDF, there's a worksheet for your circle royalties. So when you are getting paid, you get paid on your personal sales. Okay, that's the 20, 25, or 30% commission. Once you get past pink, you also get paid on your team, and that is based on wholesale of your team, of your circle, which runs you getting started is basically your team. Okay, so wholesale is 75% of retail. So those are the two ways you get paid, on your personal sales and then off of your circle, and then as you promote past green, we'll go into a little bit more about how you get paid off your leaders. Let's see, are there any questions? I don't see any questions coming in, so that's good. That's pretty much, hopefully that makes sense to everybody on how that works and how you get paid. If you have any questions about the compensation or conversion rates or anything like that, please let your sponsor or myself know, and we can go over it individually with you. But just keep in mind that the back office of your website, if you click on My Office and go to My Royalties, has a chart. And really, I would just make it simple for yourself and use that chart. It will tell you exactly how much you need, exactly where you're at and what you need to promote and what you'll be earning for the month. So it calculates that all for you. So hopefully this makes sense, and we're excited to get you guys selling on November 1st. And all of this, as you start getting paid on all of those pre-sales that you're getting this month, it will make a little bit more sense. And once you get your debit card and your Payquicker account, it'll all kind of come together. So one last thing I just want to mention is about taxes. I do get this question a lot, and about being an independent business owner. If your country requires you to declare something or to fill something out for being self-employed, make sure you take care of that. In the U.S., we don't quite have that, but I've heard in the U.K. that they do. There's a form you need to fill out if you are planning on earning money as a self-employed individual. Also for taxes, I would really highly encourage you, especially if you plan on doing this as a real serious business, to contact a tax professional in your area and get some more information about direct sales and taxes. In the U.S., and probably a lot of countries are similar, but we're able to write off a lot of business expenses. So as you purchase things like the kit and catalogs and product to demonstrate and shirts, please make sure you are writing that information down, keeping receipts, keeping track of how much you spend. That will be very, very helpful as you do your own taxes. In the U.S. and everywhere, Younique does not take out income taxes. So in the U.S., we pay our taxes separately at the end of the year. So if you make over a certain amount, Younique will send you a form for your specific country and market that will tell you how much you've earned over the last 12 months. And so you'll take that information and apply it towards your taxes and however your local government and laws work. So I'm sure all the countries are a little bit different in how that works, but you'll decide if you owe money, if your government owes you money, which is always a good thing. But that's kind of how that works. So if you're confused about the taxes and your local laws, again, I'm not a tax professional, so I would encourage you to, find someone to just have a quick conversation with and learn about your local tax laws and how that works with being self-employed. Thank you guys for joining me, and hopefully this was helpful, and talk to you soon. Bye.